there is a brand new Megadeth single out. It's called Tipping Point, and it comes out on their upcoming self-titled release, which comes out in January. I will have pre-order links in the show notes for this, but I am really excited for another Megadeth album, tentatively, of course, being their last. And I'll elaborate a little bit more on that as well, and why I think it's probably going to be their last album. And man, what can I say? I mean, this is a band that really has impacted me a lot. Again, as I've said in a previous video, Megadeth was the first band that I ever said was my favorite band at the time. They were one of the bands that, besides Iron Maiden, that really made me fall in love with heavy metal music back in the early 90s. And Dave Mustaine was actually the first musician that I had on a poster on my wall. So I have a lot of very fond memories of Megadeth. Even having Dave Mustaine on my old radio show a few times. The guy was incredibly nice and incredibly cool to me. I know sometimes people give him a bad rap, and maybe he has a bad reputation with other people, but the guy was always incredibly nice to me. And this song, for me, checks all the boxes for a great Megadeth song. First of all, let me just comment on the fact that the mix on the song, before I get into the track itself, I think the mix and the production on this is far better than the last album that they put out, The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. And The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead, I thought was a great record. I didn't think it was quite as good as Dystopia, but I still thought it was very, very good. It had some very catchy songs in it, some very catchy riffs. And I think the mix and the production on Tipping Point is much better than the last Megadeth album, and probably on par with what the production and mix was on Dystopia, which I thought was absolutely incredible. Dystopia is probably easily one of my favorite Megadeth albums. You know, it could be a top 5 album, pretty close, but definitely an album I liked quite a bit. And I think Tipping Point is just another song that really is signaling to me that this next Megadeth album is going to be pretty incredible and pretty good. Both from the way the song is written and the production and just everything about it, it just screams, okay, this is probably going to be a great record. So what is the one thing about this song that I like the most? And I will tell you, it is the fact that it takes some twists and turns that I did not expect. So when the song starts, you hear these really catchy, awesome guitar riffs in the beginning. And at first I thought that was going to be like the main drive line of the song. And then those really cool riffs at the beginning stop, and some really fast riffing comes in. And that's when Dave starts to sing. And then you have a chorus, of course. And, you know, they do that a couple times in the song. But I was not expecting him to play what was played after those beginning riffs. But you know, as soon as I heard that, I'm like, man, I just know this song's going to be a banger. It's going to be good. And it definitely was. The guitar solos are absolutely incredible. And then it kind of goes into this kind of slower middle part, which, you know, Megadeth has done that in the past, but you have this like slower middle part. And then after that, it goes into those same guitar riffs that you hear at the beginning of the song. That was pretty much the intro. But the difference this time is there's actual vocals on those parts. And that's pretty much where the song ends, essentially. And I thought that was really cool. I thought it was great the way the song was structured and written. And it really threw a couple twists and turns I was not expecting. So if you haven't checked it out, I will put that song in the show notes. And I will put, of course, as I said before, a link to pre-order the song on the Megadeth website. A lot of really cool pre-order packages that they have up there that you can check out. But overall, I thought the song was really, really good. Definitely a great start to what's probably going to be a pretty damn good album. Now, many people are always speculating, is Megadeth really calling it quits? You know, every band says this is our last tour, this is our last album. And then they come back they have like 10 comebacks. I mean, how many comebacks did Motley Crue have? How many comebacks has Kiss had? Slayer came back on a limited basis playing festivals. But generally speaking, anytime bands say something like this, you know, people get skeptical. And no doubt, I don't blame people for being skeptical, because I'm always I'm always skeptical when bands say this kind of thing. But there's just this weird feeling that I have, which tells me this is the end for Dave. As far as Megadeth goes, I don't know why, but the way, you know, watching interviews, watching some of the live performances, and just looking at the press release that was put out, I honestly think that this really is going to be their last album and their last tour. Now, who knows how long that tour lasts? It could last a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. But if I had to take a guess, my gut feeling says it's more likely the band is going to be done and retire than it's likely they will come back again and make another record. That's just a feeling I have, just a gut feeling of mine. Obviously, many of you are like, oh no, they're going to come back, and that may happen. But generally speaking, I don't know why I get this vibe, but I think this is it for Dave. I think the song is great. I really honestly think this record is probably going to be pretty good. And if you're going to go out on a high note, go out with a good record, go out with a great tour, and be done with it. And I think that Megadeth, if this song is any indication of what the album is going to sound like, I think Megadeth will go out on a high note. I really like the track. I'm also curious what you all think of the song. So leave a comment and let me know. I'm curious if you really do like the new Megadeth song, or if you don't like it. I've seen a couple comments saying, I hope the album's better. Okay. But I really haven't seen a lot of negative commentary on this track. Like, I remember when Super Collider came out, a lot of people were blasting that. And then that album came out and a lot of people hated it. You know, so I don't see that kind of vibe with this new song. So really excited. Megadeth has a brand new song out. I can't wait for the album. I believe it comes out January 23rd, 2026. My pre-order is already in, and there's a pre-order in the show notes. Hey, it's Tony here from the Metal Command Show. I want to thank you for watching this portion of the program. Since 1998, I have hosted the show, which started off as a radio program and is now into the podcast format. So I want to thank you for watching and or listening. And if you want to support the program, hit the subscribe button, hit that little bell to be notified anytime I do post any content. A lot of you have been supporting the show and really, really helping this show grow, and I cannot do it without all of you. So with that said, thanks for watching. Stay metal.